Good evening and welcome to Forge. I am the Wild Man. This is my amazing co-host, DJ Tiano. DJ, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm just glad to be back on the podcast thing. We had to take about a week off here. We had some technical difficulties. We got our new mics up and we got them all put together and whatnot.
Yeah,
but
professional.
we can't quite figure out how to get both mics going. But as we say, life throws things at you, and you gotta find your way through these mazes. And we're doing this to better the audio quality for everybody out there. So once we get this all figured out, it will help the product out immensely. So it is Sunday, March 28th, episode 13, dubbed Train Your Mind. But before we get into that, we're going to revisit the quote from last week. And it was from Albert Einstein. The only source of knowledge is experience.
Yes. And, well, here's my take from that. It doesn't matter how many books you read about whatever you can find online, because now you can read almost every book you want online. You don't really know anything until you get out in the world and you experience whatever it is you want to do.
Exactly.
You can read as many books as you want about it. You don't know anything. You have to experience it. That's for everything.
Yeah.
You can read as many books as you want and think you know something. No, because the minute you go outside of your comfort zone or wherever you're doing, boom, it's like, oh my God, this wasn't in the books.
And I'm going to use that to transition right into kind of training your brain, which is today's episode.
Yes.
The reason that we are putting forth to try and train your brain are typically for productivity reasons. And we all, probably anybody that's listened to this podcast has listened to some inspiring speeches, motivational speeches, and all these tactics for success. And pretty much, if you don't get out there and you try them for yourselves, all that reading and all that listening is basically going to end you up nowhere, because you have to experience all this stuff on your own in order to put it into play. So, Albert Einstein was a smart guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was for his time. I don't know. It would be but interesting if we could bring. I mean, because we can teleport for like 45 kilometers or something like that. Inanimate objects, not people yet, no organics. So who knows? Maybe time machines will be something in the very near future. But to bring them from back then to now to like our smart people, and then their smart people, and see what they could accomplish together.
Yeah. Well, the thing is usually people like Albert Einstein. There's people that they learn their knowledge from, and then they pass it on. They use their knowledge and they use their smart and whatever new technologies or new learnings, new teachings that they have learned to apply to new age stuff. So, so where are we going to take this train your mind thing?
So right now we're going to start off with, we got a list of other things, but this, I think, is a great way to start it off. So we got 7 ways to train your mind for success. Okay. Yes.
Okay. As you rattle these off, I'm gonna kind of just put my 2 cents in and either something I've experienced or I've done, or maybe something I read about or whatnot. So what do you got for me?
All right. So here we go. The first is a single task.
Okay. So with me, so training your brain to accomplish this single task, or you basically put this task forth. You put it ahead of everything else that you got going on, and you completely immerse yourself with this task. So as my experience with DJing, I taught myself how to DJ.
Okay.
I completely surrounded myself with this stuff. I started watching the YouTube videos every day. I read about the origins of DJs, where it came from.
I'd like to check that out. That would be kind of cool.
It is really cool. It goes all the way back to France. This gentleman, and back when they had the horn thing coming out of it, what do they call it? The phonograph.
Yeah.
He started messing around with that, and it started with radio DJing and so forth. So
interesting.
It is kind of cool. If it's
I want to get one of those, a phonograph.
Look it up. It's kind of cool, and I think I could be wrong, but I think the guy's name was Ray.
Stop.
But basically, by you putting this front and center everywhere you go, everywhere you look, you got a room, you put some posters up. My desktop on my computer is a DJ. I started watching documentaries about these guys. Some of the well-known DJs like Steve Aoki. There's an awesome documentary on Netflix. It's called "I'll Sleep When I'm Dead." The guy shatters all kinds of records across the world for doing events in such short periods of time. I mean, this guy's flying from one place to another. He barely sleeps. It's amazing.
You gotta
immerse yourself.
Yes.
And,
What's that
and
word?
Focus on the task. Manifest.
There you go. I always forget. I don't know why I keep forgetting it. I said it, and I've watched the movie The Secret, and that's all you do is you put whatever it is you want.
On that
you
pedestal.
Just surround it.
And
You're physically manifesting.
It doesn't have to be like
with the mental manifestation.
It doesn't have to be a career path, or it could just be something that you
want
really
to
want to
accomplish. You want to succeed at. Yes.
You want to get better with being a better family member or a better spouse. You immerse yourself into it. You focus on that task.
Okay, so the second one, this is one of DJ's really hot topics, is to meditate daily.
Okay, so you're right. It's a hot topic for me right now, only because this is something I've always wanted to do, and I finally just jumped in and started doing it.
And it works. You've actually
it works.
Seen the success from it.
This is not something that you're going to do once for 15 minutes and totally change. I've been kind of spotty, but the last few, I want to say 3 out of 4 days, I have meditated.
Okay.
There are all different kinds of meditation. I got a little list here. We can go over some of the ways, just to kind of get an idea. So they're guided meditations is how I started.
Okay.
You get to the point where eventually you can scrap the guided meditations and do the meditations on your own. But the guided meditations, what those are, is basically you hear all this music in the background, and it's just like kind of like an aura. It's like that's where people think it's a spiritual or it's a ritual thing, like a religious thing, because it's obviously
it's weird.
It
to approach other people, they look like that's weird.
Buddhism, and a lot of it has to do with Buddhism. You don't have to study or be a Buddhist to do this.
No.
This is something that a lot of athletes do. This is something that people who are just trying to train in certain methods, successful people, they all do this because what it's aimed to do is clarify the brain. It's trying to it's trying to make your brain clear so that you can focus on those tasks at hand during their day.
One of the ones, just with that that he's talking about that people do. One of the ones I believe, I think DJ told me earlier on, we were talking, is the mantra meditation. Which is you find big with a lot of CEOs. They go through mantra. A lot of the people on Wall Street. They'll have a mantra where they sit before the market opens up, and everybody gets. You can see it on Wolf of Wall Street. They do. There's little things.
Never seen that yet. I'm surprised.
Oh my God! Check it out.
I will.
But there's little things that everybody gets and sit in mind. People just think they're just getting themselves amped up. No, they're going through their mind. They're set. Okay, make the money. Sell the stock. So
I forget what there was a movie. It was a comedy, and it was the guy from SNL. I forget his name, but he was the CEO of the company, and people would walk in his office, and he's sitting on top of the desk, Indian style, listening to it, meditate. But it's a funny bit. But you're right, exactly. You see a lot of CEOs do that stuff. I'm just going to run down this quick list.
All right, here we go.
We're going to talk a lot about meditation in this episode, but not so. We're going to run down your list as well. So there's spiritual meditation. There's focus meditation. There's movement meditation, which would be most likely like a walking meditation.
Okay.
There's mantra. There's transcendental. There's progressive relaxation, loving kindness meditations, visualization, and there's many, many more. These are just some of the ones that I've attempted.
Okay.
And we'll get into some questions about the meditation and how that's helped me.
Well, because that's also a big part of strengthening your mind. You know, training the mind.
And I got some pretty cool stats about it too. So, what else you got?
Our next one is reframe negative thoughts.
Okay, so reframing negative thoughts is basically what it sounds like. Believe it or not, there was a study out of Harvard that 80% of our human thoughts are negative, no matter what, who you are, 80% of your thoughts are negative. And if you think about it, how many people in this world overthink, How many people have anxiety? How many people have depression?
Mm-hmm.
These are all, problems for living in the past, living in the future, worrying,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that you're not going to reach that task or complete that task.
Mm-hmm.
So reframing your negative mind is basically trying to work out those negative thoughts and replace them with positive thoughts. So I heard something very interesting. Every negative thought you have, try to replace it with 3 positives. Whatever the positives may be, it could apply to the situation at hand. It could just be what you're grateful for.
Okay. Is it a positive thought or is it okay? Because I'm definitely up there with the 80% negative.
Yeah.
Like say, I have road rage,
A lot of us are.
but I maybe I'm just weird. I'm an anomaly because I feel like I separate. So I'm driving, somebody cuts me off and acts like a dick, and the barbarian in me wants to take a flaming axe and throw it into his spine.
Yeah.
But that's just me talking it out, venting, getting away that frustration.
Just getting it out.
While I'm thinking, okay.
Your problem is more so with the human decency aspect of it. Why these people?
Yes.
I dealt with this the
Don't
other
start
morning.
with it. Don't bring it up.
I'm a very positive person.
Yes.
I had this problem the other morning trying to get into Dunkin' Donuts. Okay?
You
I'm gonna break it down I'm gonna break it down real simple, okay? The guy at the edge of the apron of Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru would not move up. There was space for 2 cars in front of this guy, right? There was another car trying to get out, but this guy wouldn't move up. Eventually, when this guy moved up, I was waiting for the other person to pull out. And the person finally moved up, and here comes another car from another direction, completely takes my spot, messes up my whole synchronization trying to get that guy out, and I was fuming. I got so angry. I was like, screw this, I'm going to the next Dunkin' Donuts. Luckily, we had one 2 miles down the road. But on my way to that other Dunkin' Donuts, I kept telling myself, don't let that person ruin your day. You're about to get you some coffee.
There you go.
I replaced it with positive thoughts.
All right.
So on the negative thought thing, I just want to say this before we get to the next thing on your list.
No worries.
Look at it this way. 80% of people think, or 80% of your thoughts are negative.
Yeah.
We constantly are beating ourselves up, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine how you talk to yourself in your brain. 80% of the time you're negative to yourself. Imagine trying to win friends over, meet new friends, make new friends with this 80%. It's pretty nasty.
Wait, what do you mean by that? We're negative with ourselves.
When most people
all right,
have negative thoughts 80% of the time, and most of the time it has to do with
it's
anxiety,
directed at ourselves
or depression. Yes.
Oh.
So that kind of kiboshes what you're saying about the road rage. That is something that it's a negative thought, or it creeps on you.
Okay, then
that's
maybe
your bad
I don't
wolf
think of
coming
myself. Out. Yeah, maybe I'm not negative most of the time. I'm quick when somebody, because like you said, the human decency of it all. That I'm just quick to.
Yeah.
Conan.
Yeah.
Where is
it?
it? Okay. All right. That makes sense.
Imagine trying to make new friendships, kindle new friendships, and
when a little
this
voice
person
is
that you
telling
talk,
you,
this person that's talking to you 80% of the time, that's overthinking, that has your anxiety because you're worried about future things, or depression because you're worried about past situations that have happened to you, that something similar might be coming up, and you're looking at the experience that you've already experienced, and that's creating the negative thoughts because you've already lived it. And I read somewhere this is because the part of your brain that gives off the negative thoughts is right next to the part of your brain that has memory. So those
it's constantly
combinations
being
of those thoughts are coming together a lot quicker than the other thoughts of your brain. So basically, what you're getting is with depression, you got something coming up and you have to perform at a certain level, but you didn't perform at this level in the past. So your depression and your anxiety is reacting with each other.
You're getting nervous,
and you're starting to, that 80% of your negative thoughts are tearing you down. So the more and more you can live in the now and not think of future and past things, it will replace and reframe your negative thoughts.
So it's good, very good, that just as an offshoot, I'm sorry for it looks like I got a little head. I don't know why. It's the camera, something my shoulder looks gargantuan over here, and I got a little head. But anyways, I think it's good then that I, at an early age, learned how to turn off that switch and break it about caring what anybody else thinks of me, so I don't have any negative thoughts. I'm like, okay, you're good, you're awesome, Brandon, you could do this. Wow,
Yeah.
man, take this out. You can come.
I've always kind of had that too.
You can always improve.
Everybody can always improve.
No, but I mean, most people
The most
I'm
successful
awesome, and
person
that's
in the
where
world
they
can still
stop.
improve.
Yes, but a lot of people, they get, I'm
Get to the
awesome,
top,
and that's it. No.
and they stop.
I can always improve. There is always something more I can do to create a better version of myself.
They always say getting to the top is the easy part. Staying there is the hard part.
Yeah, because you either get bored or, but,
yeah.
Okay, moving on. What do we got? Ooh, this is one that technology kind of put the kibosh on this, which is why we don't do this and why we need to. Rely on your memory more.
Okay, rely on your memory more. This is a real good one.
Mm-hmm.
Again, going back to what we were just talking about,
mm-hmm.
the memory part of your brain is right next to the depression,
mm-hmm.
Whatever.
The
part.
anger, the rage, yes.
And relying on your memory more allows for you to, so it's hard to say. Okay, I watched this thing on Netflix, right?
Okay.
This lady, she took 3 numbers. There was a group of 3 numbers,
mm-hmm.
and there was 100 groups of these numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a memory test.
Okay.
So this is part of training your brain and using your memory
mm-hmm.
to your benefit. So they gave these people. It was a study conducted there. There was multiple amounts of people. You can go right on Netflix. This is on there now. It's pretty much training your brain. And this lady was able to remember every single number in this group of 100,
mm-hmm.
3-digit numbers. And the way she did that was she applied these numbers to letters, which turned them into words, which turned it into a story. So she was relying on her memory to get her through this. And that just goes to show you that memory, because we don't use 100% of our brain.
No, 20%, I believe, as of last year, I believe.
But the more and more she trained herself to do this certain way, she's
mm-hmm.
become, I don't know, there's a memory competition somewhere in this world, and she's become the top of the list.
Really?
This is something that she trained herself to do. So
she doesn't have like a photographic or what is it, eidetic memory?
They do have a photographic memory. There is that, that advantage to the normal person, but they still have to memorize it in a fashion to be able to
regurgitate
the
mm-hmm.
numbers. And
Gotcha.
It was so fascinating. But this just shows you that you can rely on your memory.
And you can train yourself.
And
you can train your mind to be better.
Now you say social media has put the kibosh on this.
Social media, cell phones.
I say kind of yes and no.
Well,
okay. So for instance, phone numbers. We used to all remember phone numbers, correct?
Yes. I used to.
And
I didn't need them.
Is that why you picked up your phone?
Yes, because
you were going to talk about that.
Yes. I was going to bring it up.
But now, since we have the technology to do it for ourselves,
we don't have to.
That's not a fault, though, because now this is one less thing that we have to memorize, and we can use that brain power for other things. So it's a good and bad thing. Also, with technology, they're saying that, as you grow older, you forget things, and it takes something for you to recognize a smell, a taste,
something to trigger that thought.
And then it goes down the rabbit hole and it completely connects.
Goes back to wherever it is in the memory banks. You pull it out, dust it off.
So now with social media,
mm-hmm.
you got all these posts we're posting daily. What we ate, what we did.
Yeah.
It's almost essentially keeping a journal of yourself. And this is something that I've told people in the past. I don't use Facebook just for to get attention.
Mm-hmm.
I'm posting these things so later, when it's my time to leave the earth, that my kids are going to have a diary or a journal or something to look back on and say, wow, Dad was this, Dad was that, Dad was this. So I don't think that social media completely put a kibosh on it, but
mm-hmm.
do we need to disconnect a little bit to get away from some things that we
Unplug,
see? Yes, absolutely.
Rejuvenate the brain.
That would be falling back into retraining the negative thought. What was that? Reframe
the negative thoughts.
Yeah,
yes.
So that would fall under that.
Get rid of all those ones and zeros for a couple hours and then come back.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
All right. This one is pretty, I guess, self-explanatory, but read often.
Expand your brain.
Yeah.
It's like working out. It's, if you look at the same dumb shit every day, you look at the same stupid shit every day, you're not doing anything to exercise your brain.
No.
We were talking earlier, and you were telling me about this app or this game. It was similar to Tetris. You get 3 groups of shapes.
Puzzle block.
Yep. It trains your brain, and the more and more you train your brain, the more clear you think. And this is like an opposite effect of meditation, or meditation, you're trying to clear your brain. When you read and you gain knowledge and stuff like that, you're basically setting yourself up for more and more success. The more you know, the more you're able to elaborate, the more you're able to apply.
Yeah.
None of us know everything.
No.
So get out there, put your nose in a book, man. I started, again, people, this podcast has brought me on this journey that I want you guys to relive, because I'm going through this right now. All this stuff, reading, meditating, sleeping habits. This is all stuff that I've upped my game, and I feel 110%.
That's good. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, this is all right. I guess wouldn't have taken this really for ways to train your mind for success, but okay, I would just think better. Learn new things.
Learn new things. I mean, we just talked about it.
Yeah.
The more and more you know, obviously, the more and more you can apply. You never know what you can learn today and apply to something tomorrow. Basically, if you stay in that same circle, that same rut, that same train of thought, the same, you're not doing anything. You're just complacent, going to work, coming home, going to sleep, doing the whole thing.
Blah,
and you're losing out on life.
You are. That's a big thing. That's a big, this was that exact, say that last part right there was a big proponent for me wanting to start a podcast and write a book. I got tired of making other people rich and me living either check to check or just being broke.
Yeah.
It sucks. I hate it. Why should I kill myself when the other people are going on vacation? I can't spell vacation. So I changed, pumped the brakes, stopped, all right, we got to change things. So, all right, what can I do? How can I retrain my mind to get me to what I want to do? I want financial freedom. I want to be happier.
Yeah.
So
learning new things.
Yeah.
I'm learning this meditating thing.
Okay.
And I always looked at it as like, something that Kung Fu people did, or like, I didn't know how much, just on a regular basis people apply this. You don't have to be a hippie.
No.
You don't have to be a nature lover. You don't have to be a Buddhist. You don't have to be religious.
No.
This is not that kind of ritual.
Not.
It's really just aimed at focusing on your breathing and clearing your mind. And the more clear your mind, the more productive you are.
Yeah, I mean, not just to do just a small offshoot. If you listen to a buddy of ours, not like personal buddy, but we grew up with him, Jackie Chan, in the new Karate Kid that he did. And Kung Fu is everything. It wasn't just to learn how to fight and defend yourself. It was it was
the way of life.
It's a way of life for the Chinese people. That was their thing. Kung Fu is everything. It's not just this. It's not just exploding a kidney or breaking an arm. It's how you live. It's everything. It's you're dedicating yourself to a better version of yourself for you, not to impress anybody else. It's for you.
It's really aimed at upping your productivity. If you're going to be successful, you have to be, you have to produce
something
nonstop. You can't just go stagnant. You got to keep going. And it allows you to work with more confidence, clarity towards your goals, set learning curves, and just be more productive.
It does.
You're sitting around worrying about who's treating you like what, and how your friendships are, or how come this person doesn't call anymore. Instead of wasting your time overthinking and putting thought into that, learn something new. Apply something that you've always wanted to learn about. The sky's the limit now. We can get anywhere or go anywhere just from the couch cushions, So
all right, here's an easy one. This is the last one on this one, and then because DJ did very nice fleshing out this list, I got another list for him that I want to think different things. But this is the last one of this. Use brain training apps.
Okay, so
that was quite the dramatic pause there.
I haven't used very many of these.
Okay.
However, in my readings and a lot of the stuff I've learned from these successful entrepreneurs and people that are on top of the perch where we're trying to get, they do stuff like this, and they use modern technology and all the apps that these people are creating to benefit themselves. Now, the brain ones, I haven't. That's obviously expanding your brain, just keeping it sharp.
Yeah.
Keeping it
young, using it. Because the minute you stop, that's when it dies.
But however, I can apply certain apps that might not be so much similar.
Okay.
But there are many apps out there like this in other categories. One of them was Money. So it's an app where you put all your information in, and it shows you what you spend your money on monthly. It tells you how much you make per month. It tells you now you have all this evidence in front of your face. You make no more than this. You make no less than this. You spend. You know how much I was spending on just like subscriptions that I didn't even know I still had. Maybe like a kid's video game thing that was still going.
I think I heard about this app the other day.
Yeah, and putting that in front of you puts things in perspective.
Now you know where you can cut back.
Yeah, exactly. I was looking at it and I was like, holy crap. My grocery list is just as much as how much I spend on food at restaurants a month. I was like, now imagine if I put all that money into the groceries, because groceries last me a week and a half, 2 weeks, and that's with 3 kids in the house. Now, if I applied all of that money that I use in the rest, so you see where I'm going here. These apps can be very beneficial to succeeding and getting to where you need to go.
I've used to be honest, I've probably used, I'll say around 27 to about 33 different ones, and they do work. But the thing is, for some of us that enjoy like training our brains or challenging our brains, puzzles or whatnot,
challenging myself.
You're only allowed to do like 3 to 5 a day. And because I get on something, I just want more. I want to be able to use it at my convenience. They ask you to pay, so I don't. So I find other ones like Block Puzzle, which is like Tetris, but instead of knowing what's coming next, you get 3 pieces. You put 3 pieces down. When the 3rd piece goes down, then you see the next pieces. You don't know what's coming until after that 3rd piece goes down. So there's several people in my family that are trying to play to try to beat me. No one can yet. They can't. But you almost have to use. It's almost not so much psychic or being clairvoyant, but train your brain. Okay, I've got to leave a space for this. I got to leave a space for this. Certain pieces so that you can continue to play. But
so speaking on that,
yes.
I haven't played Tetris in years, right?
Yeah.
The other day I was messing around, goofing around on my Xbox. I seen Tetris up there for free.
There you go.
I downloaded it, right? So this is essentially what you're talking about, trying, putting your brain to the test. Tetris has always been the same, right?
Yeah.
This one is it puts you in. I put in my earbuds because it recommends that you put your earbuds in.
Okay.
It's almost a meditation. They have the background is like zodiac signs and stars and like pyramids, but it's real simple, and they have the same music and aura as a meditation.
Okay.
It's cool. So you're training the brain at the same time. At the same time, you're meditating and clearing.
Zoning out while you're Tetrising.
So it goes to show you that meditation, when applied, it can increase your brain function.
Yeah.
And it's pretty crazy. So, like, as I was getting to, you're saying that you can only do 3 to 5 of these a day.
Yeah, for the games. Then you have to Then you have to pay. If you want to do more, you have to pay. Okay. That's the thing.
But I read somewhere that you should only do so many brain tests a day, because then overthinking and over exhausting yourself and your brain can actually be detrimental as well. Oh. So
now is that now? Okay, now that. Is that like where your brain has to think? So would you say that includes puzzles?
This could be applied to anything that you're talking or thinking.
Okay.
It could be applied to work, how you go upon doing your work. So a form of meditation, but it's not really meditation.
Okay.
Something that simplifies and allows you to product more would be like scheduling your week out Sunday night before the week. This allows for your brain to function on all levels during the week without having those.
You already took care of that task. You don't have to worry.
You don't have to.
Yes.
And they found within studies that applying without already being successful and without intent of applying tactics like this can be more overwhelming. Over organizing your life could be more detrimental to your brain as well. So yeah.
All right, I like that. Now, on a way, like as we strengthen our mind, we need other ways. So just like you use weights to strengthen your body, you need to find other tools to strengthen your mind. And a lot to do, as I have found and read, is sometimes we run into the our own obstacle of emotion. Okay. So I've got a nice little couple of things I want to ask. I'm going to ask DJ about this, see what he thinks, what his takeaway from these. I'll, of course, throw my idea out there, my opinion. But training your mind to be stronger than your emotions.
Is very important.
Okay.
They always say, think with your head over your heart, in situations sometimes. Don't let the heart lead the way.
All right.
Essentially because your heart will make rash decisions. Somebody that has treated you wrong or done you wrong, sometimes your heart, thinks for your mind.
Yeah.
And it is not good.
No.
That's your emotions taking control of yourself. If you allow your emotions to take control of yourself, then we would be a roller coaster on a daily basis. Say every emotion that is entered and left your body in daily basis. Can you imagine going off of those emotions?
No, that's why I'm not in prison. Because I don't. I say something, but I'll say, my mother will say, "Oh, you can't say that. You can't." Yes, I can. That's why I'm not in prison, because I say it. But that was DJ just broke down. That was the title of this list. Let me hit you with the first one. He didn't even let me say the first one. Look, I'm breaking it all down. All right, baby.
This research, this meditation, and all this stuff has got me on point, man. It's got me. Good. Have I, gotten anywhere with it? Yes.
So would you say you feel that you're actually firing on almost all cylinders?
Almost. Okay. Almost. For where I'm at in life with business, obviously the pandemic has halted a lot of momentum in a lot of areas, a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
If you are sitting at home and you're not physically exerting yourself like you used to do, getting up, going to the office and things like that, this stuff starts to play a toll on you. If you can step outside of the box and stop just telling yourself that you need to sit around and stare at the TV all day, learn new things, start to do new things. When we applied this podcast to our weekly schedule, it has given me so much to do during the week. I left all that overthinking and all that other stuff behind, especially meditation. I want to talk more about meditation before. So when you're
no worries, I got a lot more that we're gonna pull meditation into
going.
though.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Okay, so the first number one in the list of training your mind to be stronger than emotions is don't react right away.
That's huge. How many times have we, something made you angry and you just said something, you crossed the line, and now you're trying to repair this relationship, or you're sitting and thinking negative about the outcome of the relationship or whatever.
Yeah.
Just it's very detrimental, and it's not very good for health reasons, physical or mentally.
Now, I think that should be, that one, and then okay, I got you there. I'm going to wait to give him the next one, because I feel that, like I said before, I'm able to separate. I can voice my feeling, but not act on it. As I joke around with my parents, I think this is because they're still alive and I don't want to bring shame to them. But be conscious of your thoughts.
Conscious of your thoughts. So forms of meditation. They say the most important meditation that you could do is mindfulness meditation.
Okay.
It's the best meditation. Why? It allows you for the quality of state of your conscious to be aware of something. So, mindfulness is allowing yourself to be aware of your thoughts. The more and more you're aware of your thoughts, the more and more you can suppress what comes out of your mouth. The reason for meditation is to find why you're feeling this way, to find the reasons behind overreacting and trying to calm you down from things like that. You're trying to be more mindfulness. So
be mindful.
It's a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and sensations.
Okay.
So the more mindful you are about your own thoughts allows you to be more empathetic to others.
Yeah.
So if you understand how your brain thinks, perception of your brain obviously is going to be different from the next person. But
learning to be mindful of the other person, what they may be going through.
As long as you're totally aware of why your thoughts are coming across, it allows you to.
I'm just laughing because I know
why other people are feeling this way. Yeah. So, in most relationships, you haven't been around this person your whole entire life, so you don't know what adversities they were up against.
No.
Some stuff they left out, maybe some stuff they're not very open to talk about. Things that people endure during childhood doesn't always come out later in life with these relationships. So you need to be more mindful about not just yourself and your thought patterns, but why is this other person feeling this way?
Yeah.
Again, that goes to communication as well.
Yes.
And listening is sometimes more important than talking.
See, the only time I practice mindfulness is when there are kids around. That's about it. Other times I speak.
Do you see how
whatever's on my mind?
Do you see how natural that comes, though?
What do you mean?
Because a kid's in the room, you're not gonna let your tongue slip. You're not gonna swear.
No. Well, that and like old people, I treat them with respect. Yes.
Do you see? So that puts in perspective that anybody could be really mindful.
Yeah, but I've been doing that since I was 6 or 7.
Generally does, unless they have no filter. They just don't give a shit.
I mean, well. Okay.
Think about it.
Yeah, no, this is
Most
true. Well,
adults will walk in a room and hold themselves back from throwing the F-bomb around because they're mindful about it.
Yeah.
Now, if you apply that same thought process to everything else you do, you enter a argument or whatever. If you go into that like, well, hey, I'm not going to throw the F-bomb around and insult this person and blah, blah, blah. The same way you apply, I'm not going to swear in front of these kids. You're being more mindful of the other person, so you're essentially helping both you guys out.
See, my thing, it wasn't so much being mindful. Well, you could maybe perspectively or whatever that is that you could do it. But my thing, I read something where it was when you're in an argument with somebody, instead of yelling, don't yell. Improve your argument. So instead of just
it shouldn't even be improving an argument. It should be improving your communications. I see what you're.
The saying is don't yell. Improve your argument.
Yeah.
So you guys aren't screaming back and forth. You talk. All right. Well,
that's
this
just
and this and this.
That's our emotions getting in the way.
This is true.
Again, you lead with your emotions. Yeah. That's what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Be more mindful of other people's thought processes and your own thought process. That is what meditation is. It's aimed at clearing your brain to avoid situations like this. And I'm telling you, my kids have got me on edge almost every day. The more and more I meditate, the more and more I apply the breathing
skills, tools,
and the more and more I see myself getting away from that angry individual.
That's good. That's awesome, man.
It is awesome.
But with what he just said, now that ties into the next part, which is very cool. Discover the why of your emotions. So just like being mindful of the other person, like you said, why are you acting?
Most of it has to do with past experiences, past occurrences.
Okay.
So
I'll give you that.
You're in an argument, you're worried someone's off cheating on you or doing something wrong to you. And chances are this is because this has happened previously and you're applying it to your thought process now.
Same way it happened now, it happened before.
Again, if you turn to meditation, meditation learned teaches you how to do away with these past problems.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets you further and further away from those issues and more towards gratification towards things.
All right. I like it. I like it. Change the way you think about a situation. These kind of just all flow real nice.
Change the way you think about a situation would be training your brain to essentially training your brain.
Okay.
If you keep thinking the same thing over and over and over, you're not going to get different results.
No.
Therefore, by
what's that? Isn't that not to interrupt? I'm sorry, but isn't
that
what they say? What lunacy is?
Yeah.
Try doing the same thing over and over again, and expecting a different outcome.
Yeah, you're gonna go crazy if you expect. You're applying yourself. What was that? Riddler, in Batman, the movie where Jim Carrey played him.
Yeah.
He kept expecting more and more and more, but every day he got treated like just a regular employee, and until he cracked up. Right, he started going a little nuts.
A little.
But you know where I'm going with it.
Yes,
you drive. It literally is the saying, drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
If you keep thinking the same crap, you're driving yourself crazy.
That's right.
You're gonna drive yourself. So if you keep thinking of that person that you're with for however long, they're never gonna change. They're never gonna change. They're always gonna be the same. Always gonna be the same. You're telling yourself that. You're not being open for maybe, hey, this person can change, and maybe I can help them change. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hence this podcast.
That's
right.
I love helping people, man.
So do I.
And that's why I'm here on this podcast. I hope this knowledge gets to somebody somewhere, and it's epiphany or a light clicks on or something. And I've already had people tell us that this podcast has inspired them. Yeah. So that's awesome. Have already achieved what we set out to do. And we're just going to keep doing it. No matter how many listeners, no matter how many platforms.
That's right.
No matter how many empty conversations we're not getting. There's people out there listening, so we're making a change.
And not to get into the numbers, but DJ already went in, and it looks like instead of just our focus of our people, our fans, our followers, whatnot, instead of it just being here, then some here, we're starting to get here, a little over here, a little here.
Yes,
little
our
there.
demographics are starting to
That's
jump.
The one.
So we're somewhere in between 1% and the 60 plus, and we're somewhere in between 1% of the 18-22. Okay. But in between there, the numbers are strong.
That's big, yeah.
35 to 45 are what we're getting a lot more of, but you can see the numbers starting to hike up in different age demographics. So.
Okay, so we got a little bit into the numbers.
Yes, and we appreciate you all. Yes. No matter what age, no matter what part of the world you're from, we appreciate you all.
Yes. Okay, what do we got next? Oh, this might be a tough one. Choose how you want to react.
That's basically choosing how you want to react. Is basically choosing your destiny in a sense. If you know that you're going to choose anger in a situation, you're going to get anger out of the situation. Yeah. If you're going to choose compassion, you can at least show that you're compassionate and that you're trying for better.
Okay. Would you agree?
People react to how you react.
This is true. They feed off it. So, okay, with that being said, would you agree that by choosing the way you react, you essentially decide the outcome of the argument per se, or what's going to happen?
Absolutely. Because if you choose anger,
yeah,
you choose hurling insults at somebody who's already insulting you, you're just putting more and more fuel on the fire.
It's like throwing gas on a fire and expecting it not to go out or to go out.
And I know sometimes this could go the opposite way. Sometimes I just choose to be silent, which can tick off the person even more.
Yes, it can.
But essentially what you're doing is you're choosing to clear your mind of the situation and to exit the scenario for a little while.
Yes.
To regain the thought process of, so sometimes stepping away from an argument could be the best thing you can do.
Yes, it can.
Because it'll let you get in your own space, your own place, and reevaluate the situation, and then you will know how to properly. Yes. And that's why a lot of the times when I'm in situations, I like to walk away and text about it later because I'm a little bit more clear on how to word my things and without, the brain triggers, I hurl things I don't want to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just self-defense. We all have this self-defense mechanism built in us, which is the ego. the ego will control the narrative if you allow it. So
yes. See, why we do the same things. He goes and he walks away and gets on the phone and texts about it. I grab a rope and a shovel, and we all deal with things a little differently. But hey, okay, next. Modify your expectations. Ooh.
Expectations are
so like
the
an
driving
argument with someone.
Expectations. It doesn't even have to be an argument. Expectations are usually what sets. It just sets everything up.
Could set you up. Would you say for failure or?
So it could be either way.
No, I mean
if you expect something from somebody, but you know they're never going to change, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment.
Yes.
If you set yourself up for disappointment,
yes.
So expectations can really define everything. Don't set expectations, because you set expectations, then you're expecting a person to act a certain way, and 99.9% of the time they're not going to act the way that you want them to.
I've seen that. I don't know if you've seen it. The saying or whatever it is, a quote where it says, if you don't want to be let down, stop expecting anything from anybody.
Exactly.
And then this way you won't be hurt.
I've read that somewhere before.
Okay.
And I was in a conversation with somebody about somebody potentially changing their ways, and we were like, they're never going to change their ways. And I simply, after reading that, I told that person, stop expecting that, because the more and more you expect that, the more and more anger and resentment you're going to fulfill yourself with, because you're expecting something that person is not capable of doing.
Okay, and then the end this one is avoid negative thoughts. It's probably...
Unfortunately, like stated, most of us have that embedded in us. But you can avoid this stuff by doing other activities, not so much following that same pattern every day. The more and more you change your negative thoughts, the more you manifest positivity in your life, the more and more you'll see things change. You'll see the people around you change, because essentially what you're doing is you're molding, you're setting yourself up for success by doing so.
Yes.
So.
Okay, so now, and when we all set out to do something, I want to do this. When you finally make that decision, you want to take that leap. I want to do this. Painter, DJ. I'm working with wood. I want to be a blacksmith. You're trying to figure out what to train your mind for. Where do you think most people look for inspiration as in training your mind to do certain, either succeed in certain areas?
Role models.
Okay.
People they look up to.
All right.
Professionals in that category or avenue.
All right.
So I find a lot of motivation in anybody who is competitive.
Okay.
It's not so much an ego thing. These people are competitive for a reason, because they're trying to be a best at something. Doesn't necessarily mean they want to be the best at something just to throw it and rub it all in your face. That's their goal. They're setting their goal. And in setting that goal, you find inspiration in others doing so that have already reached that goal or already have been successful in that avenue. A lot of the times, I look at all the old 90s DJs and stuff like that, the scratching guys, the 80s and 90s, the guys that put DJing on the map. I look to them for inspiration. I look how they do things. Remember we had the aspiring actor Nicholas on our podcast a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
He says we asked him, where do you get your motivation, inspiration from? And he said through some of his favorite actors. And so basically we're always trying to compare ourselves to somebody else.
It's bad.
That is, unfortunately it is bad. But if you're confident in yourself, confidence is a stain you can't wipe off.
No.
So it's a saying. Confidence is a stain you can't wipe off.
That's just a nasty saying, but I get you.
Yeah.
I got you. I got you.
I mean, it's if you don't find these inspirations and motivations through other things that you're looking to succeed in, then it's like putting a hat on a hat. You know what I mean? It just...
Yeah, I don't know why. Okay, but I got you. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Why would you put a hat on a hat?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
it's like picking a turd up from the clean side.
We're going to say you can't polish a turd on the clean side. That's interesting. I like it. So, yeah, you've got... I think you first have to, honestly, sit down and know yourself.
You have to want to change.
Yes, but you got to, in wanting to change, you have to already know yourself.
Yeah.
Because then you're just stumbling around and you're doing this and this and this. Meanwhile, you're passing up times where you don't know if what you did 2 or 3 times ago, that was what you truly wanted to do.
You know what's really funny is most people, when they want to find out who they are, this usually comes at the expense of trying to finesse somebody else into seeing who you are. So the dating game, back when people, I like walking on the beach, I like doing this, I like doing that, I like doing this. That's when it becomes more clear of who you are.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the wrong time to do it. The right time to do it is when you want to better yourself, like we do here at Forge, like when you want to be more productive, when you want to succeed more, you need to figure yourself out. When you're on a path to trying to reach these goals, you have to figure out what makes those goals etched in your brain, something that you want to accomplish. So, a lot of times people tend to resist things that are hard and create stories, excuses.
Yeah.
But the greatest return would be to stop building into that mental resistance. So doing the whole flip-flop thing, learning yourself, creating the goals, acknowledging the goals, training your mind to reaching these goals. So I trained my mind to DJ, man.
There you go.
Nobody taught me.
And the one thing I've run across, it can be more. It's more, you'll hear it in more physically demanding areas, especially martial arts, where they say, "Oh, I want to, but I can't. My body was just tired." The body will always follow the mind.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how. Well, not all. Obviously, if you're missing something, the body will shut down. But if your brain is strong enough, you train your mind mentally. Mentally, you're strong. Your body will follow. Your body will. I can't do it. I can't. Yes, you can. You can do 2. You know what? You could do 4 more reps. Boom, 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 and you knock it out.
Yeah.
It's just people don't. A lot of people say no. If I'm tired, I'm tired. No, if you're mentally strong, you can push through and you persevere.
Absolutely. Autonomy, self-governing state.
Yes.
You have to govern yourself. You have to stop letting other people's around you govern yourself. You have to manifest these beliefs. You have to believe them. You have to chase them. You got to stop thinking that you can take one step from the bottom of the staircase to all the way to the top in one step. You got to stop thinking that. That's a big misconception of a lot of people out there. And if they don't reach that pinnacle in that one step, they quit. You know what I mean? They give up.
That autonomy is a big thing. It's more like, it's acting it's reacting without thought. It's just doing. And it was, to bring up childhood idol for both of us, Bruce would always say, I think it was in Enter the Dragon, he goes through where he talks today and he says, when I want to hit, what does he say? When the opportunity presents, I don't hit, it hits by itself, because he's done so much training. He's trained his mind, the muscle memory, everything, trained, strengthened, that when he sees it, it's just second nature. It's a part of his life. So he's going, blah, blah, blah.
It's not the one hit that counts, it's the 1,000 hits that you practiced to complete that hit.
Yeah, you strengthen your mind to just, I see it, there's the opening. Boom, got it. So as I was saying, you train the brain, train the mind, strengthen it. You're here. The body will follow. The body will all right, we got to do this. He's not taking no for an answer. Let's do it. Okay? Now, that being said, as my little part here, it's going to be hard. okay, because you're going to be physically fatigued. And a lot of these things, either trying to DJ a couple sets, putting the mixes together, your hands are going to get tired. But I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. The reward is going to be so. It's going to. Yeah, I mean, it's succeeding.
Speaking from experience, training my mind, training to be this DJ I always wanted to be, and seeing it come to fruition, seeing that crowd, seeing everybody jumping around. I mean, I've seen it all. People give me a thumbs up. People doing the bow like I'm the almighty. Like, it makes you feel so good at the end of this thing, man. Training the brain to get to where you want to be and then finally doing it. Never lose sight of, celebrating your small feats and things like that.
I will go even as far, okay, as saying that training your mind to get to where you mentally want to be, physically, whatever, mentally you're stronger here, is once you do this and you continue succeed at what you want to do, continue to succeed. I mean, not that I've used them because I treat my body as a temple. The high you get will be greater than any drug you can ever put in your body, ever.
The feel-good hormone, the dopamine.
Yes, ever. It'll beat out any drug. I'm sorry, you accomplish so much,
Yeah,
and
man, it's a hormone.
There's no coming down or I suck now because on drugs.
It really gets to the point where like your body gets a reaction. You get goosebumps. Your hormones, like your emotions inside, are
it involves everything.
Those butterflies that you had going into the situation go away. You know what I mean? And people don't understand how strong the dopamine in the body can be. I mean, for instance, staying productive. The minute our mind gets distracted, the minute we pick up that phone and we hit Facebook, we see the news coverage, whatever we look at, we're getting that surge of dopamine put into our body. That's why we constantly are going back to our phones. That's why this is a study I've seen. And it says the study shows that every time we tend to a distraction, it derails us from our task. And we lose 25 minutes of our day of productivity on an average because it takes you that long to step away from your task of the day. Then it takes you that long to get back on course. So think about every time you distract yourself from your tasks, training your brain to stay on that task until it's completely accomplished. Think about every time you distract yourself, you're losing 25 minutes of the day.
Not even. See, now, what DJ missed in that article was the fact that they turned dopamine from the word hypnotic trance from the background information that's being sent through our phone. So we're like, oh, look at this. And you turn into a zombie when you get on that.
You are turning into a zombie. Yeah. But essentially, you can be walking away. If you apply it right, you could be walking away with learning things, more knowledge. And training your brain.
But at the same time, you're still a zombie because, yes, you're training, but you're sitting here when you could have put something that you learned, you could have put into effect.
Yeah.
So you could have actually enjoyed life instead of, oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, my God.
So you have to cut yourself
a little slack
off of the phone for so much time a day, I believe. You have to, you have to.
Oh, I agree.
Disattach yourself from technology.
Unplug. Get rid of the ones and zeros.
Even if it means meditating, going back to meditating. You cut yourself off. So they say you can meditate 2 minutes a day. So I don't want to hear that shit out there that you don't have time for meditation. You can literally successfully meditate 2 minutes a day, and it will be effective. You can go for as long as you want. 15 minutes is generally the average, they say, per day. Maybe even twice a day, depending on your schedule and finding the time and the place for it. You can completely rebuild your brain from meditation. So meditation reduces overthinking. Meditation reduces procrastination. You're less impulsive. You're highly coordinated. You got greater empathy. Equals deeper relationships. Equals significant happiness, right? All these things. And another study out of Harvard shows that happier people show 31% more productivity. So they ask, why is that a big step of being happy with yourself and happy in life to getting to your goals and being successful? You're going to show more productivity being a happy individual. 31% more than your average Joe.
I wonder if there's a way to get it 50 to 100% more by... Well, that's probably by doing something that you love because you don't consider it work, so you're going to do it. You're going to be more productive.
Hence the saying, do something you love and you won't work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Meditation allows you to think clearly, focus on tasks, and transition into focus on other things. It's essentially when you clean your computer out, you're defragging your computer and making it run faster. Think of your brain as a computer and a processor, and every time you meditate, you're defragging your brain.
Okay.
You're clearing that cookies or whatever they call it.
Clearing the cookies. The cache.
Yeah,
not the cache.
The
cache. I don't know if it's called the cache.
The cake.
Whatever they call it, you're clearing the cache out.
And the study shows for every minute that you meditate, you save 9 minutes in your day for productivity. So every minute that you meditate
gives you 9 extra minutes.
Gives you 9 extra minutes to your daily routine, your daily thought process.
Okay.
It's a study. I
got you. We can't argue it.
I believe it because I'm allowed to think things more clearly. So
you're allowed to, or why? Did somebody say you couldn't?
Yeah, my brain told me I couldn't before.
Oh, okay.
Because I was over scheduling myself. I was not over scheduling, but over what's the word I'm looking for here? I was
a bunch of them.
I was taking away from simplicity, which we say build yourself through simplicity, and I was making my day more difficult,
adding complexities to it
because I was trying to focus on 20 different things. Where now I'm meditating, and I'm allowed to think clearly more a task at hand. It allows you to.
See, my stepfather says that about me. He says that I focus too much on anything. On everything.
Everything.
And I told him,
not enough on one thing.
I go, well, I don't know. I said, that would depend. And he goes, what do you mean? I go, all right, so when I start a new task, so when I started this, before I got with DJ, it was like, all right, because, hence the moniker, the Wild Man, I'm crazy. I wouldn't say I'm Sasquatch, I'm barbarian. Half of my foot is in the woods, half my body I have to play civilized.
Yeah.
But when I started this, when I go attack something, I see something.
Tunnel vision?
No. I imagine everything that could go
be thrown
wrong.
In your way. Yes, you've talked about this before.
Yes, any obstacle.
So that it's a preparation thing, which is not a bad thing, but you're also getting in your own way by thinking of these negative things that probably don't even have the potential of really happening. You're just preparing yourself.
Yes, but at the same time, all right, this could happen. I come up with.
That's overthinking.
Ways to, all right, this I can combat that, That's
overthinking, bro.
Yeah, but if it happens, I'm not worried because I'm already prepared.
But there has been times when I've prepared myself for those things, and they still happen.
Yeah.
And because you're in the heat of the moment, you still get flustered, you still get nervous, you still get fidgety.
People do. To be honest,
it's natural human reaction.
In my opinion, the only thing that you cannot be ready for is a kid.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Other than that, I think that if you see all the views and you prepare yourself for everything before you jump into something, you'll be ready. So when it happens, you'll know exactly how to deal with it. There won't be oh my God. It'll be like, all right, cool. And I found, because I do things the way I do it, that I see how people react when things happen and little things are like, I don't get that way.
I definitely think there is room for preparation. There's no doubt about it. Going into something more prepared.
Like Batman.
When I first started DJing, the first thing I started doing was writing down everything that I needed to bring out with me that day, so I would never ever forget something. Right? I got away from that. The first 4, I got cocky. I got away from it. Don't you know? I forgot a speaker. I forgot a wire. I had to go back and started writing this stuff down again. So essentially, 3 words, break it down. Smarter, not harder. Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A lesson that we learn is that we think about we think too much about our productivity and what we need to have done at the end of the week. We need to look beyond that, and we need to produce. We just need to produce better on a weekly basis. Not how much. It's not how much we
It's not quantity, it's quality.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I agree wholeheartedly with that.
yeah.
You know, I see these people, oh, they're not to take away from anybody that's doing podcasts or whatnot, because we're just starting out. But I see a lot of people, it goes back and forth. I've found the argument about quality versus quantity. Yeah, you've got 400 episodes out, but half of them are trash. Oh. So then again, that can always be different opinion. I'm just saying, just throwing it out there. That's definitely
everybody has a different way of attacking things, and sometimes it could be beneficiary to others. Sometimes it could hinder others because they're overcomplicating.
This is true. This is true.
So I think we talked pretty good about.
I think we covered training your mind, and a big fan of meditation and making things better, and take time to think before you react. I know most of us don't.
Yeah. I strongly am an advocate for meditation. Obviously, through this, you can probably sense how much it's really helped me. Like,
meditate.
And I'm not joking. It is. They say it's the easiest thing to do. Because you're focusing on something that you automatically do on a regular basis, which is breathing. It brings more oxygen to the brain, to the blood levels. It allows for clarity, basically. And
because you focus on one thing,
the more,
and it works through things, so you're not busy focused on all this. So it's breathing. All right, I need to get that done.
And I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna tell you.
He's gonna tell us.
I'm gonna tell you all that every meditation, is not gonna be a successful one.
Yeah.
Because sometimes your brain's working more.
Everybody's different.
You will find throughout time of doing this and practicing it that there are probably better times of the day, or better, the 2-minute, the small meditations, they might be something that you can do in a bathroom stall at work, or, these are little things that I've found, and you can probably find them on YouTube. Yeah. They're all guided meditations from all these people that have been successfully doing it for years, and they will tell you years into it, they would still have unsuccessful sessions.
Yeah.
It's your brain firing on different cylinders at different times, different things you're thinking. But the main thing is clear your brain, man. Clear your brain and make way for the new you, the better you.
Use all them cylinders. All right, that being said, we're going to hit you with the...
We will do Choose Your Destiny. Choose your destiny. All right, so this week, in the midst of all of our technical difficulties, I found on Facebook that it was better to create a group for interaction better than a business page. The business page we still have up and running, but we do now have a group page for Forge Podcast. Yes. If you're interested in this, send us a message, email us at
ChooseYourDestiny2.0@gmail.com.
And we will send you a link, or you could DM us, or however you can get a hold of us. You can find me, Ray Tiano, right on Facebook. Instagram, DJ_Tiano181. You can find me all over. We can send you a link to this. It allows for more interaction on our podcast. It allows for conversation. We can DM on there. We can do all this good stuff. Yep. So, with that being said, I took to our newfound page, and I asked the people. We are up to over 100 people on the page already in the group. We have a total of, 18. We have a total of 22 votes. Okay. And this was Choose Your Destiny. I told everybody how it worked. I told them you were the one that chooses the destiny. And this week it was 3 forms of entertainment. Do away with 2.
All right.
The other one you're stuck with for the rest of your life. A being watch movies, shows, videos. Anything that you watch with your eyes and take it in, movies, TV shows, documentaries, anything. Videos on YouTube. Anything that you watch.
All right.
B, listening to music, podcasts, radio shows, etc. It could be anything that you just listen to, platform, Spotify, whatever.
No visualization. Visual, just audio.
No visual. Yep, just audio. And the third one being reading books, articles, social media feeds, etc. So you can only entertain yourself with one of these things for the rest of your life. What are you going to choose?
Well,
choose your destiny.
So being in how it is, okay. With the audio, you get stuck. Sometimes you're trying to listen to something for me, and they might put you to sleep. So that's out. The visual is you can only watch things. I personally have a habit of I can only watch something once, unless it's really good.
Yeah.
Because all I have to do is look at the CD case, and I just watch the movie all over again in my brain.
It's like watching the trailer.
Yeah,
You've seen the movie.
It's bad, it's funny because I'll like, what is this? Oh yeah, well, put it back. I'm gonna have to go with reading. You know, the way the world is going, anyways.
I am very
and
surprised.
EMP hits that.
I can honestly say you blindsided me with that one. I thought it would be movies.
Oh no, because I can only watch.
How long could you go without kung fu? But then again, I guess you could read about it.
Yeah, I could read about kung fu because they have like manga kung fu's. They've got where they do like the cartoon guys. Dragon Ball Z is a big big pusher. I like that. But
comic books and
I can watch a movie. Oh, I watched a movie, but I open a book and I start reading, and I feel like I'm in.
That's great. It's a lot of people. Book. See, I love reading articles. Okay. I love reading knowledgeable things, but I can only read so much before my mind starts to wander. The subconscious kicks in. Yeah. That's the training your brain thing that I have a very hard thing doing. Is my brain thinks just in overtime all the time. And with the meditation, it's kind of helped. So, all right. So the masses. Which is not a lot of people, but we got 11 votes for watching movies, shows, and videos. So that took the lead.
Really?
Yeah, with the people.
Okay.
Listening to music, podcasts, radio stations, etc. I fell into that group. 7 votes.
All right.
Midway, and with the reading books, articles, with you included, that's 5 votes. So
all right.
We've just lost touch with reading and
well, people to understand
short. The
attention
spans.
I don't even like I said. It could be that. Probably a mixture of that too. But people think, I can listen to an audiobook. Well, yeah, but it's not the same as opening. There's something about holding the book, opening up the
that's
pages.
Where we are different.
Yes,
because my newfound
lost.
love is listening to audiobooks. That's how I'm able to come after you with all these facts. That's how I'm able to keep my knowledge sharp. So that's why I leaned towards, because obviously being a DJ, music is a big part of my life. Music has always been a big part of my life. The vibration, just the analytics of behind music, and I'm sure you all seen some cool videos out there of like, you got the little pieces of sand or whatever it is, and they put it on a speaker, and to watch when the music plays, it forms a certain shape. Or
the liquid or something. Yeah, I've seen that.
It's cool to see that how much music actually vibration and things like that interact with the human body. With it, we don't even have a clue.
No, it's it's just.
So I looked at it as I can listen to a book, I can listen to a movie, I can listen to a podcast. What did people do in the early days? They sat around the radio and listened insteed of watch TV,
Well, yeah, but then you pushed it. You want to go back. They sung, they danced, they read, they wrote.
Yeah.
They lived.
Singing dances under listening. So.
But
we're all
for me with the audio, I have to like the person's voice because I've listened to a few audios and
I will.
Their voice is just like
I have turned off books because of that. I have.
So,
but if I had any interest in what the book was being said and it was their voice that did it, I look into buying the book and reading it. So
yeah, I did that. I think there was somebody, and I'm a big fan of like Anne Rice books.
Yeah.
And I heard, I want to say I'm not 100%. I'm going to do 60-40. There was a dude that was audiobooking her, and it was just bad. It was the way he was reading. It was just like, not that I know her, but it was like Anne didn't. She didn't write it that way. When I'm reading a lot of, and maybe that's why it's like it's a thought or a memory. I can read the book and I hear the author saying this as it's a memory as it's happening.
Yeah.
And it's like I can engross myself.
I can become that. I can see that with music in myself. So a few weeks ago, I was presented. I was on on Facebook, and
Okay.
a brother of a good friend of mine says, "Hey, I coach a basketball team. I knew this previously," and he says, "I'm looking for somebody to make me a mixtape or a mix for my kids to warm up to, And instantly, with no hesitation, I don't even have time to do this kind of stuff. I said, "I'll do it."
Yeah.
Because I can actually mix you up something, and you can hit play, and I can send it to you digitally, so you don't have to physically come and get it from me or whatever. And as I was making this mix, all I heard was like the screeching of sneakers on a basketball court. As I'm making the mix, like that's what I would want to hear if I was warming up. That's what I would want to do if I want to hit buckets. You know what I mean? So I was visualizing, and I was encompassing.
It's like
this.
you're doing
Like,
it. You're part of
yes,
this. Yes.
I was like, and it made me feel good, dude.
Yeah.
I gave. I didn't take. I didn't take. I gave. So that goes to give more than you take. So
Yeah.
All right, that's this week's Choose Your Destiny. We're gonna get into our pod shout outs. First one up. Thanks for any shout outs we can get. We cover the latest news, trends, pop culture every Monday and Friday. popculturecosmos.podbean.com. So go check that out. Thanks for the shout out. I'll be listening. Put it like this podcast on pandora.app.link. I didn't even know Pandora had, which makes sense.
Yes.
But I just never knew that they had that. Okay. Our podcast is a true crime paranormal podcast / comedy podcast. Come for the murder, stay for the ghosts. Cul-de-sac Insomniac. Oh, I like the sounds of that.
Yeah.
A podcast on Anchor.fm.
That sounds like one of those old, like the Burbs.
Yeah. Cul-de-sac Insomniac. I like that.
It's got a catchy name.
Yeah. Aaron Davis, along with co-host Lloyd Hetherington, explore friendship, tragedy, love, life, learning, and so much more on our stories from Green Bench Podcast. So go and listen to that. That is on apple.com. Stories from the Green Bench Apple Podcast. Next one up, the Trauma Bond Podcast with Chas and Nicole. The TraumaBondPodcast.com. They have their own site there. Go check that one out. Next one, we are a political true crime podcast that covers melodies, madness, mischief, and murder in U.S. politics. The Muck Podcast. The muckpodcast.fireside.fm. All right, the next one we have GetBeyondBusy.com, a podcast we interview people from all walks of life about productivity, work-life balance, happiness, and success. So that's kind of about what we talked about today. So if you have any interest in extending that reading or listening, GetBeyond and busy.com. We'll do a few more here. Here's the first video we have on the channel. We're still transitioning, and we'll be uploading more videos in the next week. We are also looking for guests. Please reach out to me if you think you would be a great fit. Being on the Hook with Seth Godin, Beyond Busy Podcasts. What are you showing over there?
Choose Your Destiny 2.0 at gmail.com. I didn't want to interrupt you.
That's
so
all
just
right.
put it
We're
up
going to
there.
do a few more here. Why Me Podcast, seeing the opportunities for personal and community development through adversity. Why Me with Vera Lee. Why Me on Apple Podcast. And we'll do one more. The Soul's Conquest is a spiritual podcast centered around self-love, self-care, self-healing, and the many aspects of the soul. It is aimed at helping you reconnect with and rely on yourself. Sounds interesting. It sounds like what we're all about over here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
at Herma, I'll spell that, MADHURIMA _soul coach on linktree.com. So that is our podcast shout outs for the week.
Tongue tied over
Yes,
there.
that's a lot of reading in a short period of time. So make sure you go check all those guys out. We wish you nothing but success on your podcast journeys, and we hope you listen for our shout outs for your podcast. And that's about it with that. And we'll hit you with the quote of the week.
Yes. Here it comes. Are you
It's
ready?
a very short one,
Very short.
and it is from Friedrich Nietzsche. He's a great philosopher.
Okay.
I probably butchered his name, by the way.
It's not Nietzsche?
Nietzsche.
Is that Nietzsche?
Yeah, Nietzsche.
Okay. His name was Frederick?
Yeah, it was very small. There was a few of the Nietzsches, I believe, throughout history.
I only know
Frederick is the more popular, I believe.
Is he?
But yeah.
So he was the.
I gotta brush up on my philosophy. I've been a
brush
little
up
off.
on my Nietzsche.
Yeah.
He's
brush up on the niche.
Frederick
very short.
Okay.
Success has always been a great liar.
Ooh.
What could that mean?
Oh.
All right, that's it from us this week.
Yes.
We hope to have you back next week. We talk about personalities.
Yes.
And
Woo-hoo-hoo.
I got some cool things about the personality, so tune in for next week. One of them includes a personal test you can take at home to figure out what kind of personality you have.
Yes.
And there's to this, it was a mother and a daughter who figured this out. The mother figured this out. And she figured out that there are 16 different personalities, even though we like to believe there's a lot more. This defines certain things. We'll talk about that next week. So look forward to
Both of us have taken it.
Yeah.
So we will let you know
we'll
where
let you
we
know
fall.
who we are and what we classify as.
Yes. So thank you again.
Yeah. Thanks for all the support out there. Thanks to all the listeners.
Yes, all the shout outs.
I believe we're approaching 800 listens across all platforms,
Nice.
which is by no means no slouchy number for 13 episodes. Well, this being the 13th episode.
Yes.
So
yes.
We look to add on to those numbers. So tell all your friends.
Yeah.
Share it away. Yeah, come join us.
We are looking. One thing, DJ showed me something. I am looking into, along with the podcast, us doing a radio show.
Yeah.
Where which should be really interesting, where we can maybe not so much expand, maybe throw some music into the mix, while we're talking, but just something that we can maybe stream this live as a radio where we're doing the music and then we talk. You hear the music in the background, but then we turn it down. We talk about so we can interact with our listeners.
Not only are we looking to possibly do that, we're also looking to maybe do a couple spin-offs based around music, pop culture, TV, movies, because we're into that huge, and we just like to talk, man.
I do. I love it.
You guys have a good week. You try to aim for the stars and approach your goals with ease. Go and meditate.
Yeah.
Peace out. See you guys next week.
Outstanding.
That was a really good one.